This week's poem is basically a joke, literally and figuratively. But how? That's what we're gonna see in this week of the Poetry Challenge. Hi everyone, I'm Sanchit Batra and welcome back to the Poetry Challenge, where I write a poem every week and then make a video about it in which I do an in-depth analysis and also tell what I as the poet mean in between the lines. Now, as I told in my previous video, this week brings with it my examinations, which means from Monday onwards I had my examinations, and the issue with that is that during these exams I cannot afford even half an hour to write a poem. Now you might be wondering that then what does that mean? Does that mean we don't have a poem this week? Well, no. I found a very clever workaround for this issue, and you'll see in a moment what it is. What the other thing that you'll find out through this video is why I do not have a diary this time. Why I'll be reciting the poem from memory and not from a diary. But before telling you why, let me recite the poem first of all. The poem goes like this. There once was a shopper, quite simple and sound, but everyone gazed at him. He found, until to his shock, he realized that all his clothes were oversized, and what's more, he had worn them the wrong way around. Now, you might be thinking, as I mentioned in the start of the video, what's this? A joke? Well, basically, yes. Let me explain. You see, there's a specific type of poems that we call limericks, which are meant to be humorous and are like very short. The particular pattern that they have is that they have only 5 lines, and then the rhyme scheme of A B B A, which means the first, second, and the fifth line rhyme, and the third and fourth line rhyme. And these usually have like 6 to 10 syllables, but of course the poet can bend them to his will since it is his creation. The point is that if you're sitting idle anywhere, I don't know why, but if you're sitting idle and you can't think of a proper poem, but you want to do something, you want to spend your time, it barely takes like 10 minutes or so to write this poem. I, as a person who is not very humorous and had to spend most of my time thinking about a humorous idea or a humorous storyline or a plot to write about, even I, as such a person, took 10 minutes to write this. If any one of you out there has a very good sense of humor, you'll only take 5 minutes, trust me. And it's such a pleasure to have written a 5 line poem that actually sounds good, sounds musical to the ear, and is also simple to write. Trust me, it's a wonderful experience. But anyways, also you might have found out why I don't have the diary, because it's a 5 line poem, and why should I have to read from a diary when it's basically 5 lines? Okay, so now let me go through the analysis. I guess the video will be quite short this time because again it's a 5 line poem. Anyways, the first line says, there once was a shopper, quite simple and sound. Now, there's one thing I would like to tell you about this line, that I could have said there once was a man, quite simple and sound, but I chose the word shopper instead of man. Why is that? Because while I was writing the poem, I knew it had to be 5 lines, strictly, but the thing is that if I wanted it to be 5 lines, I could not convey the message that the man was outside in a public area and was between among a lot of people. Because the next line is, but everyone seemed to gaze at him, he found. Now, disclaimer, throughout the video, lines might change a bit because I'm reciting them from memory, but that doesn't matter. The rhyme will work, the poem will work, the message will be same. A couple of words don't really matter. Anyways, so in the next line, I'm saying that, but everyone gazed at him, he found. So when we say everyone, we need to set the scene first that he is in a public place. So that's why I'm using the word shopper and not man. So that is basically how you can use your vocabulary to find workarounds instead of writing entire lines to describe scenes. Right? That's what basically the job of a poet is, to describe as much as he can in as less lines as possible. Depending on the scenario, you might even take more lines than is required. Anyways, moving on to the next line. But everyone gazed at him, he found. So now we are basically beginning the main plot line of the story. So everyone is gazing at him, and he finds it awkward. Why is everyone gazing at him? Until to his shock, he realized that all his clothes were oversized, and then he immediately realizes that all his clothes are oversized, which like starts the humorous part of the poem, that he's wearing oversized clothes. And I believe a person with a lot of baggy apparel is a humorous concept, considering my pathetic sense of humor. According to me, that should be a good enough plot line for a poem. And then the last line we conclude by even extending it further and saying, and what's more, he had won them the wrong way around. So as you might have seen, it does follow consistently with the rhyme scheme of A, B, B, A. And the last line tells how the clothes were oversized and also worn the wrong way around, means back to front. And that was basically the poem. Now you might be thinking, Sanchit, what is this? This challenge was meant to bring about improvement in the poems. If you will be like writing such simple poems, how do you expect to get a challenge? Now, yes, the spirit is still to give a challenge to myself every week, but also my exams, as I said, are coming up. But the thing is, I did face a challenge while writing this poem. What exactly? Well, you see, when it comes to me, as I mentioned, I am not a very humorous person, and to come up with a plot line that is even this humorous was like an entire huge task to be done for me. It might not be for a lot of you out there, but for me, it certainly was. So I think I have provided satisfactory justification for what I have written. Anyways, that is what is going to be in the poetry challenge for like next week as well, I hope, because the examinations are for 2 weeks again. um Basically this video also gives you an idea of what you can write if you are beginning and want to participate in this challenge and post on social media, but you do not exactly have an idea. You can just write a limerick, like you can just write a 5-line limerick and then post it. Works like a charm, trust me. Anyways, if you want to participate with me in this challenge, do use the hashtag given in the description. Subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified every time a new video comes up. Like this video if you like the poem. This video was a short one, I do get that. But anyways, this is Sanchit Batra signing out for now. See you next week.